much fun. It really is. And I'm a lucky lady to be sitting here with Erich Cawalla. This is What's the Story?
You're so lucky.
I am. My name is Jo Painter, and you have no idea how lucky I am because this is fun. We were talking about, well, first of all, up and noted
Ta-da.
in yes, heart, soul, body, and mind. And I have to ask you, there's an evolving band.
Yes.
The Uptown Band is evolving, and
Yes.
you noted some people that you brought in for particular songs.
Yep.
Is there a core group in the band? Who is that?
The whole core. The three original members are myself, Jennifer, and our bass player Lamont Bates from Warnersville. Mm-hmm. And throughout the years, every band goes through some changes.
Right.
And so we have our keyboard player Dave Fenwick from Wilkes-Barre. We have our drummer from Reading, Mike Humbert, who actually plays with a national act called Steelheart too when he's not with us, which is a big rock band, very good band. He's playing in Florida tonight. And who else is in the band? Oh yeah, Forrest Brown from Carlisle, Pennsylvania, and our trumpet player, Mike Burton from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And a little side note on him, he's actually on Michael Jackson's posthumous release that they just did, Escape. He was going to, Baltimore for a couple weeks, and he didn't tell us why, and he was playing trumpet parts for...
It was secret?
Secret, yeah. He wasn't allowed to tell anybody.
He was on the down low?
Yep, and then when the record came out... It's like, okay. It was amazing. So I think I said everybody. Did I say everybody?
I saw. It's your band. It's your band, Derek. I don't know.
I say everybody. Lamont, Forrest, Mike, Dave.
So these are the core
Jen.
members that are always there.
Yes. There's 7 members always there. And then sometimes, since I play sax and I sing, we use another sax player for bigger shows too, so that when I'm singing, you always have 2 horns in the background.
Did I see... were you on Joey Reynolds?
Yes.
And did I see Dewey Wall?
Yep, Dewey was with us for about 2 years. Yep, and that was a cool experience. We got to go right up to Times Square on NBC up there, 2 occasions.
That's giving me goosebumps. You got to do that.
And it was cool because I just went to see the David Letterman show last month, and we were talking to Will Lee, outside the studio, who's on the record, and we talked to, and fabulous musician. He's been on, thousands of recordings. Mm-hmm. But to go back and think, a couple years ago that this is where we were at, and it was really neat because we got to play a couple of our original songs for Joey, and the Amazing Kreskin was one of the guests on the show.
Amazing, come on, really?
I have to say, the Amazing Kreskin liked Jennifer too. I definitely
really.
Have to say, oh
hey,
yeah.
Who doesn't like Jennifer?
Well, that's true.
Come on,
that's true.
Come on. There's something about the two of you. There's what would you call it?
A Sonny and Cher charisma. That's what I like to call
Maybe it is a Sonny and Cher. You're connected. You're connected musically, and you move together with the same mission and bringing that message of the song right to the audience. It's magical.
Yep. Jennifer's very, heartfelt, everything she sings. Mm-hmm. I like to think of it this way. I'm the guy that's out there, the goofball, the energetic guy, the guy that gets the crowd. She's the straight one of the group.
Hence Sonny and Cher. That's where you're getting at.
Yeah, and it works. And Louis Prima and Keely Smith, sort of the same type of thing.
Right,
Louis was Louis, I'm just a gigolo, all that stuff. And then she would just sing her thing, stand there straight, and do her thing, and it worked. If you think some of the great comedy acts all the time, same type of thing.
Now you're saying this, and now I'm thinking, is this staged between you?
No.
I mean, is that a thought-out process, or it's just a
It's just what happened, we've done probably 2,000 shows together in 12 years, which is a lot of shows. And it just is what has evolved and what it is, and most importantly, it's who we are.
Yeah.
She's more quiet than I am, and I'm obviously a talker. And
really?
It works. Yeah, I mean, and it
it's the
works.
easiest interview I've ever done.
Yes, that's good.
Heart, soul, body, and mind.
And that's a song she wrote, Heart, Soul, Body, and Mind.
She wrote it. And I want to get, there's 2 things on my mind. You started doing all covers.
Yes.
You were always on my mind. Thank you.
Yes, we did.
And then you started writing. How did that? Where does the inspiration come from that?
Well, Jennifer always wrote with Scott Verrett, and she had released a CD long ago, which called "Show Me More," and I thought with the cover stuff, I love doing cover music, and we can be very successful just as a cover band. Yeah. But I've always, for some reason, it doesn't matter, how young I was. I always wanted to be the best, and I always wanted to get involved in as many different things as possible. And I never thought that I could write music, but I have to say, Marty Mellinger came to me one day, who's a keyboard player in the area and was very good.
Oh, yeah.
Is very good. And he said, Eric, we should get together sometime. And because he recognized talent, I guess, my talent, and he thought, maybe we should get together and start doing some original stuff. So Marty and I wrote together, and I never thought I'd be able to. I'm more of a hook guy.
How did you develop your own
It's
writing
strange.
skills.
Like things just come to me. It'll be
Yeah.
5 o'clock in the morning, and I get up and I start thinking about something, and that quick I hear a hook. Just a similar. I got to tell you this story. I teach saxophone lessons, as Jennifer teaches, and a couple different guys in the band teaches. And one of my buddies, Greg Brown, who is a car salesman up in Eisenhower, he's an older guy. He's like 60 years old, and he started taking lessons off of me about 3 or 4 years ago. Greg Brown, yep. And at one lesson, he said to me, he was struggling with something. He said, Eric, sometimes I just think too much. I just think too much. And if you look at number 10 on the album, the song is called Sometimes I Think Too Much. And I thought to myself, so I took my phone up and I just heard this, and I heard this hook, sometimes I think too much. And then I had to make it a love song, though, because nobody wants to hear about a saxophone lesson. Sometimes I overthink the reasons we're in love. And that was it. Sometimes I think too much. And that was it. And that's how the song was built. And I took it to Benny, who is our producer, and Benny has played with everybody. He's been with the 3 Degrees as their musical director for years. He's had numerous songs on radio with Pieces of a Dream. And we just wrote it. Did the verses and did the chorus, and I had Greg Adams do a Tower of Power-esque type of arrangement on it, and that's how our song was built. And there's specific songs that you can write in 5 minutes, but I knew within a couple minutes I had the hook. And once you have a hook, that's everything.
Does everything come first ever before the hook?
Not for me. For some people it does.
But maybe with other members of the band, do they bring everything and then you make the hook?
My keyboard player is more of he's more of a chordal writer, so he'll put the chords down and he'll do that stuff. That's what he does. Jennifer is more of a lyric writer first. She is a great lyricist. Lyrics are not totally my thing, but hooks just come to me. It just is one of those things that I'm very lucky.
I want to hear it again. Give me another one.
Oh,
not that one. Give me another
I was born to make you mad. You were born to make me sad. We're blowing a chance for love. We got to get through it. That's the one Cliff Starkey's on the CD. But it just, things hit you.
This is what happens when you start hearing your music. No, it just, I hear it, I turn it on.
Come on, Lorenzo, do the robot, baby. Come on. I've been practicing my robot. Oh, that's good.
Look at that. He's behind the camera, but he's doing
it. That's good. That's good. But it's just everybody's different. And one thing that and we talked about doing too was putting cover songs on that people could relate to. So on the first CD, we put Hey There Lonely Girl, because I always had that real high falsetto.
You do a Motown set.
I've
heard.
do a lot of Motown. And to me, 60s and 70s, I love 60s and 70s music. I love soul music. And, I have an idea that I've thought about too that I'm thinking about doing. You know how you have the Jersey Boys, and that show got so big.
Great show.
Because Jennifer has an Amy Winehouse tribute band, and it's a very good band. Right. She loves Amy Winehouse and just fell in love with her music. My thing that I love straight ahead jazz standards like the Great American Songbook, but I also love that Philly soul sound like the Stylistics and Delphonics and Smokey Robinson, the Motown thing. So I'm coming up with a show called The Falsetto Kings, which is actually, it's like Jersey Boys times 10, and it's going to be tributes to all the great falsetto legends of all time. Even Tiny Tim might be in there, when we do that. But the Beach Boys,
I'm seeing tulips.
The Beach Boys and Smokey and who we named the Shyla. Everybody that's ever sang falsetto. Even Justin Timberlake and Prince, of course. You got to do Kiss if you're going to do falsetto.
Oh my goodness! So
that's what I'm,
So this is a
with.
Seed.
This is a seed.
You heard it first here on What's the Story. It's coming.
Yeah, I better copyright it now.
Yeah, you better.
But that's how stuff's. You gotta keep thinking, and as I said, I just always wanted to, just keep trying to steps. It's all about steps, and once you stop taking those steps up, and you get stagnant, you're in trouble. Don't be afraid to invest money in yourself. Don't be afraid to advertise with yourself. And Marty said this to me once. He said, "You know what, Eric? A lot of people invest in the stock market. A lot of people invest in bonds, and I do both of that too. You got to be successful.
Diversified. You
have to. That's one thing. Make sure that you invest. This to all my musician friends out there. Be smart about that. Put your money in your IRA account and all that. Right. But at the same time, Marty said, it's very important that you invest in yourself, and that stuck with me. And over the last 10 years, invested a lot in myself.
It's interesting that through this conversation, you've noted a couple of people and some pearls of wisdom, shall we say, that really have stuck with you. You've held on to them, and the one earlier was connecting with that audience. It's not about me on the stage. It's about how can I connect to you out there.
Well, look, at the end of the day, there's certain shows that, you may be tired. I remember right in the room next door at the Crown Plaza doing a show with 104 fever with strep throat, and my vocal range was about a fourth of what it is.
Throat, you have to be kidding me.
The red dots all over my throat.
I do.
I haven't missed a show in, it's got to be 10 years, because that's just how I am. That's just me.
Okay. You haven't missed a show. It's been your health.
Yep.
You're hauling equipment. You're booking people. You're doing other jobs so that you can continue to generate what you need so that you can invest in yourself.
Yep.
It can be really, really exhausting. So
it is.
How and where do you find what it takes to keep going, to stay inspired, to keep creating, and then go on the stage and go, here we are.
I sleep till 11.
No, you don't. You just told me if I go up late.
No, but every day I go to bed
Musicians
every night.
do that, don't they?
A lot of them sleep till 2, 3, 4. Not me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm working from 11 o'clock to about 5, 6 o'clock at night, just emailing, talking to people, doing contracts, doing whatever. But it's very important that you get a good amount of sleep. And for any job, but for this business especially, because it's so physically... I didn't expect that
to be the advice. Sleep well.
You have to. Advice. I go to bed at 2 o'clock every night, and sometimes 1, sometimes 3, sometimes 4. But I'm up. I make sure that I get 7 to 8 hours of sleep every single night. Now, there's certain nights that you don't get that, but that's conditioning-wise. I work out a couple days a week. That's important.
So you've got priorities. You've got very personal priorities.
Oh yeah, you have to. You have to stay. Your body has to stay healthy.
Yeah,
that's the main thing. If I see that I'm packing a couple pounds on, I know that I had a very bad acid problem. I was drinking way too much soda from driving and staying up. Every time after a show, I would drink soda. So, and I was having a lot of breathing trouble. And I spent thousands of dollars on tests, and they figured out it was acid reflux. So I pretty much got off soda, and that solved almost everything for me. Wow. So you have to be smart about your body too. But you said about what keeps me going. I'm 35 years old. I have the greatest job in the world. I mean, I know what a day job was to me, going in every day for 8-9 hours, driving an hour one way, sitting in traffic sometimes for 2 hours.
Do you hear that? How many of you do that?
And I know a lot of people do that because a lot of people live in Reading and work in Harrisburg or Philly. And I respect it. My parents did it for many years at Lucent and AT&T, and they had very good jobs. It just didn't suit me though, for some reason. I could do it. But I love the flexibility, and I love being self-employed. I love being my own boss, and that's what keeps me going. Just knowing that I can do this.
It's all you.
Yeah,
it's all you.
And
everything. I have one other question, because I see this a lot, and you've talked about it. You've talked about how you worked and collaborated with different musicians.
Yep.
You help one another. You're pulling people off different groups, and they're coming and they're playing on your piece. Unlike in the corporate world, it's, what do they say? It's cutthroat. There's competition. Well, there's competition in music. For example, the awards and who's going to get the next booking. That's a whole other business part of the music industry. Is it different though? Is it more of a brotherhood in music, or do you run into that fierce cutthroat competition as well?
Well, I see both sides of it. I see a lot that are, that'll do anything for you, and I see a lot of people that won't even talk to me, just because they don't. Okay. We have a lot of haters, and that's just when you get successful, that's what happens.
Right.
What I decided to do about 2 years ago, I bought an entertainment agency that a gentleman approached me that he's had it for 30 years, and I thought to myself, you know what? There's enough work out there for all of us, and one of the great joys that I've found that I have is, it's great getting on stage and performing and doing that, but being able to book other acts and get them work and see something from the beginning of, where it all starts to the end. That is so gratifying.
Do you watch that and say, I remember?
I watch it and I do it, and it's so gratifying to see that. I get a lot out of booking other acts, too.
What was your most exciting, exhilarating moment so far in terms of where I appeared and you went, wow, I'm here?
Well, probably playing with Marie Osmond. I got to play with her out at Shippensburg at the Lure Center, and that's just one of those things where, they hire the horn section, they have a keyboard player and a drummer and so forth who comes with her. And then what they do is they just hire horn players or a guitar player, whatever they need. You read charts. And I was scared, but it was neat because I got the contract.
Marie Osmond.
Yeah, it was neat. And this was 3 days after she was on the Dancing with the Stars finale. And I'm like, wow, here I am playing with Marie Osmond. Osmond. I have a picture in my studio of it. That's the one. And the second one is actually when I was 18 years old as a member of the District 10 chorus. We got to sing in Carnegie Hall.
I thought I saw that.
It was unbelievable.
Wow.
It's like you think to yourself, my gosh, how did this happen? I'm 18, but a choir canceled, and Dr. E. Feely was the guy. I think he was from Illinois, and he just wanted us to do it because we had a connection with him. And here we are, one day going to class, and the next day we're going to Carnegie Hall. So for the rest of my life, and that, obviously that's not a paid job. Mm-hmm. For the rest of my life,
but it's an experience, big an experience.
Just being in that dressing room, just thinking this is where Frank Sinatra and the Beatles and Pavarotti, and it doesn't get any bigger.
It's an energy you just want to.
It is. It's one thing to play in front of 100,000 people, but to be at Carnegie Hall, which is, the number one concert hall in the world, it's like.
I'd just like to walk backstage at Carnegie Hall. What that must be like.
I'll never forget it.
It
brings chills just thinking about that. And that's what music is about. One person said to me one time, I don't get chills when I listen to music, or I don't get that. And I thought to myself, you poor soul, because that's what it's about. It's about that connection.
It is.
Yep.
And you never know what tomorrow will bring.
That's right.
So what the next chapter is for Erich Cawalla and the Uptown Band, stay tuned to What's the Story. You'll come back, I hope.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for being here. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.